Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast, episode 101. Tonight, we're talking about new Mario Kart tracks dropping finally here, along with a plethora of other news, including Xenoblade Chronicles 3 release, new amiibo coming, Pokemon Squishmallow, and also we will be covering our top 5 most wanted features in Breath of the Wild 2. We're talking all of that and more. Well, greetings, fellow Nintendo pals. This is the Nintendo Pals Podcast, a show all about Nintendo and friendship. And speaking of friendship, I'm joined by my co-host, fellow Nintendo pal, Micah.
Yep.
And Micah, I gotta ask, how the heck are you today?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good to hear. Our intro was like exceptionally loud today. I don't know what I did different, but it's there it was. Super blasting. Micah, I don't really have much to talk about, like things going on with me, because we spent 24 hours on stream together last week, and I'm just still in recovery mode from all that go down. But Micah, do you know what we're doing tonight? Not 24-hour streaming, that's for sure.
Taking over the world?
That's right. We're going to try to take over the world of Nintendo podcasts, and we do that through 5-star reviews. If you, dear listener, would like to help support our show and help in our global conquest for Nintendo Palsdom, you can leave us a 5-star review on your listening app of choice. You can leave reviews on Apple, Podchaser, Spotify, Audible, and I'm sure there are other places as well, but those are the 4 that we know of and check. And speaking of know of and check, we got 2 new 5-star reviews, anonymous reviews on Apple Podcast. So we don't know who they were, can't shout you out specifically, but you're awesome and we thank you.
Yep.
That's all we have to say about that. Alrighty. Well, my God, it's been a crazy week, but for the sake, I guess for the sake of time and sparing Micah of cooking in the overheated room that he records these in his garage, let's just jump over into the first segment of our show and let's talk what you playing. Micah, what have you been playing lately?
Well, I've gone back to playing some more Spelunky 2 and have
okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm ahead of the game here. I was like, wait, why? Because I thought you finished everything.
Yes, because I have now finally completed the journal and all the feats in the game. I mean, I guess I haven't technically like 100%ed it because I haven't finished the Cosmic Ocean, but I'm never going to do that, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
way too much of a time commitment there.
You got all the achievements. You don't have to. You don't actually have to finish the impossibly hard Cosmic Ocean to get all the achievements.
Yep, and I did all of this just so I could one-up you in your favorite game.
And the worst
favorite indie game, at least.
To be honest, I was so upset that I decided to stream a Mario Bros. Challenge that was equally painful. Because shortly after you did that, I went and played the Mario Maker 2, the Iron Bros Challenge, which is to clear 50 levels with 1 life. on normal endless mode. So if you get hit, you have to reset and start from the beginning, and not get hit, but if you die,
Yeah.
because you can technically take a hit if you have a power up. Oh man, it's brutal. It's so hard. My record is still 6. I haven't played too much since that stream, and I plan to go back to it because I'm gonna get higher up. That's for
I mean,
sure.
it sounds terrible because people are kind of the worst. And some of these levels are terrible. No offense.
It's it's true. Hey, there's no license required to upload to Mario Maker 2, and there is no moderation other than clear rate, so you get some really really garbage
Yeah.
levels.
So, but yeah, my favorite that you told me you ran into as well was just death doors. Essentially, you walk through a door and it kills you.
Yeah. How about the ones where the arrow points at the door? It's like, go to this door, and you're like, okay, and you
Well,
open it
I
up, and
mean
it's just
that's just
spikes.
suspicious.
Yeah. You got to know when to trust and when to not trust the levels. You have to really read the
Yeah,
creator based off how
get
they
in the
title it.
mind of the creator. Yeah,
Like, yeah, you got to think like a 9-year-old in order to beat the 9-year-olds. That's how it goes. Nice. Well, what else have you been playing besides good old spelunking?
well, I just recently on my stream yesterday, I had to think about when that was. Finished Metroid Dread, a Dread run with 0% item collection. So no missiles and energy tanks, and that was mostly a lot of fun.
And I like that. It's mostly fun. Why do
Oddly
we
enough,
play these games? All 3 games we've mentioned so far have been like excruciating pain. We're crazy. Why do we play these games that we that are so abusive?
for the sense of accomplishment.
It's true. Nothing beats that sense of accomplishment. I am sure once you finish that, you were like, oh yeah, this is the best. I'm the best at Metroid
Yeah.
ever. The best Metroid
And
player
then
of
I
all time.
thought I need to do some like sequence breaking and skip all jumping upgrades and beat the game that way.
What's insane to me is that you've played the game 7 times now, 8 times maybe. You've lost count, and you still are like, oh, maybe I should play it like this. That is exactly how I treat Breath of the Wild. Like this,
Yeah.
you've got the speed running, the challenge run itch.
Something about that game just keeps me coming back, which is sort of unusual. I
I
tend to not replay games that often.
I wonder if it's like just the pacing. Like that game's pretty quick. Once
Yeah.
you know what you're doing, you can do it pretty quickly. I don't know. Maybe it's that, because I couldn't imagine doing that for like, well, I was gonna say a longer game. Breath of the Wild is technically longer, but it can be beat in
Yeah.
like
I mean,
under
it's
an
also
hour.
just kind of compact, I guess. It's just good excitement the whole time. There are other games where the story takes up a lot of the game and you're like, I already know this story. I just
Yeah,
played it. I don't need to know these things again, kind of. So it has those like downtimes, but I feel like Metro Dread, you can just skip all that stuff anyways, and it's go 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 all the
yeah,
time.
you're just right back into the action. Nice. Anything else?
Just my usual smattering of Rocket League, but also now Fall Guys. Hop on once in a while, mostly to play duos with you.
And we crush it.
Oh yeah, we're like so good at that game.
I feel like last time we played, we won like 75% of the games we played, or at
I don't
least
know if
made
I.
it to the final.
Yeah, I mean we made it to a final in like almost all the games we played. I'm trying to remember if we won two or three, and I think like every
It
time
was
we
3.
won, it was on that like one final level with the two bars spinning at different speeds.
No, we won the hexagon level as
Oh
well.
yeah, oh
Or
yeah. We
we used
we did
our
that
new
one twice, and
strategy.
then you won on the hexagon. That's what it
Yeah,
was, I think.
yeah. We used our new strategy where that one you like break and then drop down layers, and I just speed down to like a lower layer and just clear them out so that when people fall, they fall like super far to the bottom. That's
Yeah, the best part is I think at one point I actually fell past you. Like you were clearing
Yeah.
out the second to bottom level a bunch,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
I
messed.
I fell for the trap and fell all the way to the bottom.
It was a calculated move. What are you
Yeah,
talking
it's
about? Yeah, it was all part of the
and then
plan.
yeah, I was like, I'll drop to the bottom and clear out these now.
Yeah.
It's all part of the plan.
Nice. Well, yeah. So I guess that's a good segue to what I've been playing. I also played some Fall Guys duos with you, and I played some Breath of the Wild. Specifically, doing a challenge run this week where I spun a pain wheel using uh, punishments that were submitted by Twitch chat and by our Discord community, and I had to stack those and try and beat the Great Plateau with all of those stacked on top of each other. It took a few attempts, but I was able to do it. And uh it was something. I was honestly not planning on it being so insane and crazy. I kind of thought it would go faster. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And the stream just ended up being a lot goofier and fun than I imagined. I thought it would be fun. I didn't think it was going to be boring. Yeah, we have in chat. We had a lot of people ask while I was doing that. Oh, when's Micah gonna do a Metroid Dread with a punishment wheel? It's like
Yep.
I don't know if
Never.
we'll get Micah to cosplay as Daisy while while playing Metroid Dread.
I mean, that game takes me like 3 hours at my fastest ever to beat.
Maybe it's like a first boss kind of thing, but you go pretty quick to the first boss. I
Yeah,
think
first
we did a
boss you can
race.
do pretty fast. And I'll spin every 30 minutes. It's a plan.
There you go. See, yeah, should beat the game next time, but spin every 15 minutes, says Fuzzy in chat. There was also a suggestion to do that again, but every time I get hit, I spin the wheel.
That's
So
a
it's
good
like,
idea. I like that.
and then I could do the whole game, I think. Maybe it'll come back.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
It's one of those things that would snowball if you get a bad spin.
And it does.
You're gonna get hit a lot because of that.
I mean, I was at a point in the first run that it just became impossible to control what I was doing. I could only face like back. I could only walk backwards, like facing the camera. I had to switch the Joy Cons to different hands, so the opposite hands. I had inverted controls, upside down screen, and was always sneaking. And it was impossible. I was like, there's no way I can get past this like rolling ball trap, Indiana Jones trap. Oh, it was brutal. It was so brutal, but it was a lot of fun. We had a good time with it. And that's besides that, I have also been playing a lot of Spelunky 2, but not to try and get all of the achievements like you might think. No, my son has been very into Spelunky 2, and he requests that we play co-op a lot. So now I'm trying to get the achievement. Can I beat the game while my son actively sabotages our mission? He's not intentionally sabotaging it. I mean, he's just really young.
Sometimes I remember playing with him in the past, and I feel like there have been a few times where he has actively tried to sabotage.
Yeah, no, he's actually a very good team player. He just uses up his resources a little too quickly and accidentally blows himself up a lot. And then he's out of stuff and struggles. But like there was a point where there was a turkey and he was like, "You can have it. You have less health than me." I'm like, wow, what a team player. I don't know
And
what
then he
that's
threw a
like.
bomb at you?
I've only ever played with Micah, so I mean, Micah would have just
Yeah,
gobbled that up.
Where did he hide the bomb?
Where did he hide the bomb? Yeah, so that's been a lot of fun. It's a fun game to play co-op. And besides that, I don't know if I played a whole lot else. It's just been those things. Mario Maker 2, Zelda, and Spelunky 2. I have been on the fence for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and it is reviewing very well. We'll talk about this in the news, but it seems like it's pretty cool. But I just do not have time to invest in it right now. So even if I got it, it would just kind of sit. So I've got to like get a window of time that will be consistent enough to finish the 150-hour campaign or whatever it is. Yeah,
You'll just
that's
have to start streaming every day, and that will be your streaming game.
yeah, yeah. That would be cool if I could actually do that, but I cannot. Oh, but that's a good segue. So let's head into the next segment of our show and let's talk some Nintendo news. Alrighty, in today's news, we've got a lot to cover, and I guess we'll lead with the Xenoblade Chronicles news. Xenoblade Chronicles 3's planned story DLC will be similar in volume to Xenoblade Chronicles 2's Torna DLC, which is a lot of content. This came out of a series of Ask the Devs interviews. I think they did 3 of them, and this was where that info came. Apparently, the game is massive, just like the open world exploration is huge, the whole map. And so it's pretty exciting that they're adding so much more content on top of that with the DLC. Do you think this will be included in the expansion pack?
I would kind of lean towards not,
Really? Okay.
because it seems like, well, most of the stuff added has been a little more multiplayer based, or in Splatoon's case, kind of old.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I I mean the Animal Crossing DLC was pretty hefty and not
Yeah, not
really
yeah, but I mean that's
multiplayer.
like you want to make these things and then share them with your friends and whatnot. So I mean, not necessarily multiplayer based, but it's I don't know, giving it to people makes them show it to other people that are like, maybe I should get that.
Yeah. I mean the goal is to sell more Nintendo Switch Online memberships. So maybe they'll do it. Who knows? That would be very cool. It would I don't think it's up for sale yet, so I guess we'll wait and see. Mute Dog in chat says, I'm only away from Xenoblade Chronicles 3 right now. The only reason I'm away from it right now is because of the podcast. Which, for those watching the video version of the podcast, we're trying something new. We have the live chat, like a little window for live chat, so you can see the chat as we're talking. Typically, when we stream our podcast, we don't have as much interaction with chat because it would be disruptive to the podcast format of Micah and I talking to each other. But every other stream we do, it's very active. We're really interactive with our chat. So if you aren't checking out our live streams on Twitch, do it. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun over there. And now you can kind of get a little sampler of that here with the chat window on the video version of the podcast. Anywho, next news item. Mikey, you want to take the next one?
Yes, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pack has been announced for August 4th.
Pretty pumped for that.
And
bunch of new levels added.
Yeah, the 8. They have added our Mushroom Gorge, Waluigi Pinball, Calamari Desert, Sky High Sunday, Sydney Sprint, Snowland, New York Minute, and Mario Circuit 3.
Nice. This was I got this list from Discord. I think it was a list someone listed as their favorite, like the ones they're most excited for from top to bottom. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much my list as well. Although I put Waluigi Pinball on top. Love that. Love that course. Love the music. It's so fun. I'm excited for all of these actually because they just all looked really cool. Interestingly, it's where Sky High Sunday is a brand new track, not previously seen in a Mario Kart game. So
that explains why they showed it so much
in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mushroom Gorge. That's a classic. That one's like a highly competitive. There's a lot of shortcuts you can take. It's like super competitive, really fun. Fly right here. Oh, I got it.
What was it?
It was a little gnat. um, which of these are you most excited for?
Um, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of excited for Waluigi Pinball just because I've heard so many people talk about it. I have not ever played
Oh, you
that
haven't played that
course.
track.
Nope.
Has it not
And
been brought back before? I thought it had. Maybe it was the 3DS.
it's not that I recall, at least. Plus, I also like the name Calamari Desert, so I'm excited to play that one, just based off the name.
That's the N64 one. That's a classic. It's got the train that goes through it. It's kind of a boring track, like on when you take a step back and look at it. But I have a lot of nostalgia for it, just because it's on the N64. And yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. All of these are pretty hype, honestly. Sydney Sprint will be cool. I've liked the Mario Kart Tour tracks that have come over. I think they're fun courses. It's weird to have like real world locations
Yeah,
as race tracks, but here they are. And yeah, this comes out August 4th. We're going to be doing a community game night that night. So another plug for our Twitch and our Discord, which links to that are in the description of the
and
episode.
I'm definitely not excited for Mushroom Gorge though. Probably my least favorite out of all these new tracks.
I feel like you're only saying that because chat is really excited for Mushroom Gorge.
Yeah, apparently Mushroom Gorge is like a really great course or something.
I like it a lot. That cave at the end where you like have to pick the right
The
the
mushrooms you
right
hop across, right?
mushrooms on hopping. Yeah, I remember when I first played it. It was like so the first several times I played it was so brutal because I'd like get launched off the edge because like Mario Kart Wii are so floaty and the turning and drifting is very floaty too. So it's like hard to precise aim where you're gonna land on those bouncy mushrooms. We'll see how it plays in this one. Now you're getting threats in chat. Mushroom Gorge. Well, we better move on. Block off your calendar. The Steve and Alex Super Smash Bros. Amiibo will be released on September 9th. That was directly from the tweet that Nintendo posted out. I didn't come up with that very bad joke. Although
And
that is
here I
on
was thinking,
brand.
I was like, wow, that's the best thing you've ever said.
Yeah, I had forgotten about these. It's funny how these are coming out like so long after the character
For
drops.
real though, it's been crazy long.
They look very nice though. These you'd think like, okay, it's Steve. He's just kind of a compilation of squares, but the
Aren't
the
we all?
amiibo the amiibo look really nice. I feel like over time the amiibo have just gotten better and better and better in quality as like a display piece. Where when they started, they were kind of just like a toy.
Yeah, it
They've gone
seems
they've gone from toy to figurine essentially. Like,
I mean, they seem to have some of them gotten cooler poses as
mhm,
well as time has gone on.
yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of cool merch, though, next news item.
Pokemon Squishmallows are finally here, and you can get a first look at Pikachu and Gengar at the San
Oh,
Diego Comic
I
Con this
yeah, this
weekend.
this weekend, which was like 2 weeks ago.
Last weekend?
Yeah, last weekend. I just that's my bad. Copy pasting that in. Yeah, but so we did get a first look at those. You know what I need on the podcast? I need like on the video version of the podcast. I need like a window that I can like pop up and show pictures of the things we're talking about. That would be nice and professional and smart
Or
if I had thought ahead. Next
maybe
time,
even better, you have a little window and you draw
I
what
draw
they're
what it looks
talking
like.
about. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that would definitely not look awful. Uh they look good. You know, there's a lot of ways that Squishmallows could turn out because they're just a big marshmallow essentially, but these look nice. They could have just kind of slapped a Pikachu picture on it and been like, look at this Squishmallow chew.
It's I mean the Pikachu has a little chunk to it,
Yeah, it's a
feel, but
classic Pikachu.
yeah,
Oh, the OG Pikachu, if everybody
exactly.
remembers. Gen 1 Pikachu. Oh, he was a chonker, man. He was a little chubby boy. He had the fat rolls on the arms. Yeah, I'm not going to pick one of these up, but I may be tempted if they come out with my favorite Pokemon. Get a Cyndaquil Squishmallow.
Or a Shuckle, maybe a
Oh,
Dunsparce.
I don't feel like Shuckle would translate well into just being a blob. He
What?
needs like the limbs. He needs the limbs. That's kind of a defining feature of Shuckle.
They should just add those in. It'll be an extra fancy Squishmallow.
There you go. Squishmallow with some squish socks. He's just like attached to it. Yeah, so that's Pokemon and Squishmallow. Next up in the news docket, we've got a free summer update for Nintendo Switch Sports available now. This adds the support for the leg strap accessory in actual soccer matches. Okay, so not to get confused here. Previously, the leg strap was supported for the shootout mini game. You could play that multiplayer, even not multiplayer online, multiplayer local. Now, in regular games, you can control using that. But that's not all. They added some new moves in volleyball and some new tiers in the ranking system. You can now reach S rank and infinity rank. Which I'm like, what a wow, what a rank name. That's a cool top tier rank. Yeah. Wait, you look like you're
Yeah.
gonna say something about it. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Infinity.
just interesting. They'll never have to make another rank because everything should fall under the infinity rank.
That's true. Once you hit that, where do you go? Nowhere. And beyond? You have infinity rank and beyond rank.
Oh yeah. How much
To
trouble could you
infinity
get in for
and
that? Is that
beyond.
like a
Is that
patented catch
trademarked?
line or something? It is
To
interesting that they added in like some moves in volleyball though.
yeah. I haven't got a chance to try these out yet. I really wanted to this week, but I was too busy cosplaying as Daisy while playing Zelda. But it's interesting. Rocket serve, slide attack. What does that even mean? I don't know. It's gonna be it's
You
gonna be pretty cool.
if someone's about to defend your spike, your teammate can slide tackle them under the net, I think is what it is.
You just run under and just gah, take them out. Yeah, but that's not the only thing that got an update.
Relating to Switch Sports, or is this the transition?
The transition for you.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to
I
make
was
sure.
handing it off to you very nice and clean, but you were like,
I
oh,
made sure. I made sure to make sure it was clean. I rinsed it off a little bit more after you handed it to me. But you can now send friend requests with the Nintendo Switch Online app. So
Oh my
it's
god.
been a time coming, but you can now do that.
Let me tell you, in full honesty, this is cool. This will not make me use this app. I'm probably still not going to use it, but it is cool. It is convenient. I mean, if I ever meet someone on the street and I'm like, I don't have my Switch on me to add you as a friend, let's pull out. But let's be real. Who does that? Who goes out of their house anymore, right?
For real. Nerds. Those are the only ones that leave the house now.
Eh, And oh my goodness, I should have just grouped this in with the Nintendo Switch Sports news, but
Yeah,
Mii's.
see, I was just trying to give you a
I
chance to
know you.
catch your
That's what
mistake.
that's what you
And,
meant.
and then I
You
just decided to go on
you wash it
anyways.
off. Then you handed it back to me. I got it all dirty, and you handed it back, and then I handed it back to you, and you're like, "Yeah, that's not what I meant." This is exciting news. Mii's are back. Mii's are back again. They have added Mii CPUs to offline modes in Switch Sports. The return of the mat.
Wow, we are all so very excited about this.
I am excited about this because these are essentially like hidden boss fights and battle modes. You have to actually enter in a code, like a cheat code to unlock these. What is that cheat code? Did I write it down? Yeah, just hold down L plus ZL or R plus ZR while selecting a difficulty. A sound will play and a Mii computer player will be assigned as your opponent.
It seems like an odd way to do it.
With Matt being the final boss of, well, not the final boss, but a CPU you can play against in sword fighting. They know what they're doing. They're like, Matt's back because he's like the legendary Wii Sports,
and he's been training.
Villain. He's been training. They should have done a little trailer for it. That would have been really funny. Just have him with like fire in his eyes. Yeah.
So yeah, the 7 fans of Mii's are pretty excited about that.
The 7 fans are my people.
And 3 of them are alternate accounts of yourself.
Hey, I love Mii's. Mii's are the best. You know what? I'm going to show you. I'll prove to you that Mii's are the best at some point. Somehow.
Yeah, good luck.
They are the best.
So I guess we found out that the naive angel mode in Bayonetta was not actually ordered by Nintendo.
Yeah, there were rumors. There were rumors
themselves. Because I feel like a lot of people just kind of assumed that Nintendo's like, hey, maybe we should make a more kid-friendly version, a slightly less adult version.
I was gonna say, I think that still has a lot of language and violence. So I don't know. It doesn't really make it more family friendly. I think it just makes it less uncomfortable to play with your significant other there if you have one of them.
Other people silently judging.
No, I just
yeah, joke's on you. I can play Bayonetta however I want.
That was not where I was trying to go with that. But it is something like the rumors were swirling that Nintendo was kind of forcing it to be that way, which is not true. We have a quote here. So this is translated by Nintendo Everything. Bayonetta. I can't say Bayonetta. Bayonetta creator Hideki Kamiya said, I see a lot of people bring up Nintendo when discussing the nudity in Bayonetta. But during our time with Bayonetta, with the Bayonetta 1 port, Bayonetta 2, and Bayonetta 3, the only suggestion we received was regarding the Link costume in Bayonetta 1 and 2 and how it should have been a little bit more revealing.
So the exact opposite of all the rumors.
Yeah. And then he continues, no bias influenced that aspect of the game, and I think players can enjoy the game without worrying that it may have been. After working with them for such a long time, I get the impression that although there are times where we may butt heads, they're surprisingly open to direct discussions about development and sales. So there are other things that they butt heads on with Nintendo in the development process, but this is not one of them. So that is interesting, and it does seem very anti-Nintendo, but at the same time, they've just let a lot more less family-friendly stuff on the platform this generation. I you can see that in the Switch eShop. Make sure you have those parental controls set up so your kids aren't going on there and getting stuff that they should not play. Yeah, Like Skyrim. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Or Doom?
exactly like Skyrim.
Yeah.
Or Doom, what are you talking about?
Wait a second. Yeah, no, like there's
Kids gotta know how to defend themselves.
I
I'm just
honestly
kidding.
think that
Definitely don't.
the naive angel mode is a really good idea for Bayonetta, and because it's an optional mode, and I think it will make it so that it's a little bit safer to stream and make like review content for.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, there's more to it than like just straight up censorship and trying to make it appease some audience that here's the thing is that audience isn't going to play the game anyways. But who knows, maybe there are people that would give it a try. Anything rated M, don't let them. Yeah, well, yes, don't let your children play anything rated M. There's a reason it's rated M.
That's just rated M for Mario.
Rated M for Mario. And yeah, that's it for naive angel mode. Hopefully we don't offend anybody with our with how we talk about Bayonetta. I just think, if you're a fan of the way Bayonetta 1 and 2 are, then like the take comfort here that the director's like, don't worry, we're not affected in a way, like it's going to be like those games with this optional mode. Yeah.
Yep. Well, Nintendo has reported the top digital sales for the first half of 2022.
In Japan. In
In
Japan.
Japan, yeah. So I guess
Because one of these games I had never heard of before. I had zero idea what this was.
I was gonna look up how to pronounce it beforehand, and I did not. So
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. We'll give it a shot.
let's see. I got to count ahead if we alternate.
Oh, you
Oh,
want to?
perfect. It works out very well for me. Yeah. So in first place was Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Which I'm not surprised here. Like
Yeah,
that.
I mean it's a Pokemon, and it seems from what I've heard has done very well for a Pokemon game. So
Hopefully, this means we get more in that style, because I think it's really fun. Um, or that the new mainline games are influenced by how that one was created. We'll see. I'm actually really looking forward to this new one, being that it will be open world and have multiplayer functionality. That seems
yeah,
pretty
it's
heavily
I
integrated.
just the trailer when they like mention the multiplayer still cracks me up a little bit. They're like, you can play multiplayer, and it shows 4 people, and then they all just run in completely opposite directions.
Yeah. But not together.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they're going to
But
be really good
that is
games as
very
well.
cool. Some multiplayer in a Pokemon game. I'm excited.
The next best-selling game is Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
And then Switch Sports.
I'm excited to see this one up at the top. This seems like it sold way better than Strikers. Just point that out, because I don't quite know why.
It was only
actually,
$40.
yeah, it was cheaper, and
Guess
I think
only.
it had a lot more variety than what Strikers has to
Yeah.
offer.
So
Then
that automatically just makes. I mean, Strikers is a little more targeted, I guess. And
yeah, Nintendo Switch Sports. Okay, then number 4 was Monster Hunter Rise.
nice.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about that one. That's
Yeah.
cool.
5, good old Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It will never not be in the top 10 ever.
No, number 6 is Overcooked 2.
And number 7, Among Us.
Number 8, Monster O Teo.
No matter how I think that last part's supposed to be pronounced, it just sounds bad.
Teosheet? Monster O Teosheet. Now, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I did look into it, and it is a popular manga and series. I think that it translates roughly to I I killed, or it's like some the manga translates to like I am over leveled. I killed 300 slimes. I can't remember. I've got to look it up.
It's an interesting name.
Yeah, and it looked like an interesting thing. But apparently, that game sold really well. I'm looking for it. Maybe I'm just making this whole thing up. I got trolled. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. Is the name of the series.
It's a long time to be killing slimes.
Yep. So I looked at the game and I did not understand what was going on in the game. But yeah, it's here in the top 10. There you go.
And then number 9, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Nice. And number 10, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the greatest game ever made. So there you have it. Those are the top sellers in Japan, which I think will relatively reflect on how well these things are doing worldwide. Pokemon Legends, is going to be like the number 1 selling game this year, probably. Well, actually, no, Scarlet and Violet is going to be the number 1 because not only is people are going to buy 2 of them.
That's true, yeah. For probably more money than it costs to buy them separately.
Oh, if they're buying the double pack, yeah, that still bothers me.
I'm hoping by now they've fixed that issue and they don't add on that extra penny.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I may be one of these people this year. I'm thinking of getting 2 so I can play multiplayer with my son. I think we'd have a good time with it. Pre-order the physical double pack this time. Let's go, Napsy. That's what I'm thinking of doing as well. I definitely got to go physical. Those Pokemon games hold their value as well. So if you ever do want to sell them, they sell for a good chunk. Some for a very good chunk. And that does it for the news. That was no transition. I'm just like, hey, that's the end. And with that, why don't we transition over to the next segment of our show and let's head to the the rumor mill. Thank you, Pikmin. You showed up a little earlier than I was anticipating. We sent the rumor Pikmin out to find us some juicy rumors to enjoy and talk about on the show. And there really aren't any rumors to talk about.
Yeah, they didn't make it back to the ship before we had to go to orbit.
There is the potential of a Black Panther video game on the horizon. This was talked about by Jeff Grubb, who said after the Wakanda trailer is great. He said after the Wakanda Forever trailer dropped, like, let's talk about the Black Panther game. So I didn't follow up on that to see if they actually did.
Supposedly he talked about that.
Yep. Like I said, the Pikmin didn't make it back, so we only have hearsay at this point. And besides that, that's it. Oh, there's rumors swirling around. But I wrote this one off right away, so which is sad because it's one of my favorite games. All right. The rumor is that a popular 3DS exclusive will be getting a Switch remaster, and that is none other than Kid Icarus Uprising. I just don't believe it's happening. I would love if it did, but I just don't believe it. Sakurai has said, like, nah.
That game was a mistake?
No, yeah. Apparently loves it because it's super over-referenced in all of the Smash Bros. Games since its release. So it gets special treatment by Sakurai in Smash Bros. But they just like left it there to die on the 3DS. I really hope that
left
this is
it there
true.
to die on the most well-sold console ever made.
Yeah, but the problem with the game is, well, I don't consider this a problem. We've talked about this before on the show. The controls, using the stylus to aim and then moving with the other hand, was a big hindrance for a lot of people. And the game, I would say, in every other way, is a masterpiece and very polished and very, very fun to play. But that control scheme was a huge, like, people dropped it before even getting through like the second level, you know? And that's a bummer. So I'm hoping that it comes to Switch, it gets a remaster, like a rebuff with graphics, and also gets a better control system, control scheme. I didn't not like the original controls, to be clear, but I do think it would be much more accessible to players if it used like the traditional twin stick shooting mechanics.
Yeah. For some people, it's just kind of hard to hold one-handed while also hitting the buttons and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I get it for sure. So that's all we got for the room reel. So let's jump over to the next segment of our show and talk about community submitted questions and topics in the community corner. And we got a lot to cover because it's been 2 weeks since we did a regular episode. So we've got 2 weeks worth of questions and topics to discuss. So let's jump right in. First one comes from Mute Dog, the gamer, who asks, which one of the Koopalings do you think Bowser is the most disappointed in, and why? I am not looking up all the Koopalings right now. Don't worry about that.
Excuse me, you don't know the names of all the Koopalings?
Do you? Can you name them all?
I can name them all right now.
Do you have them up in front of you?
That's not what you asked me.
Okay. I don't need to know.
But the obvious, I'll let you go first, and then I'll say the obvious answer.
I can't remember which one. Which is it Iggy?
Which one do you think is Iggy?
No, not Iggy. It's the one that bounces on the bouncy balls.
Oh yeah, Lemmy.
Lemmy's a disappointment, man.
Yep, that is the correct answer.
Really? That was what you're gonna say too? I mean, he looks terrible. He is not he's a disappointment to me.
Well, that's rude. He's the best, in my opinion.
Really?
Because he is the most innocent and good-natured of all the Koopalings, and that is why he is a disappointment to Bowser.
Yeah, he's like a happy baby Bowser, you know? Like, well, I guess he's not actually. The Koopalings are like adopted or something. He's not Bowser Jr. He's like a happy version of Bowser Jr. Like, whoa, look at me, I'm a little kid. So, yeah, that's probably why I'd say that, is because he's very childlike and kind of crazy looking. Where the other ones definitely seem more diabolical.
Yeah.
So there you go. I can't believe we both had the same answer for that.
And that only one of us had to look up the names to know what they were called.
Yeah, only one of us. You can take the next question.
Presto the Magnificent asks, who is the best Mario character and why is it Waluigi?
All right, why is it Waluigi? Because
Which
Waluigi
is just inherently false.
Waluigi is awesome. And I was talking about this in a recent stream. I was just like, yeah, I just really enjoy his character design. He's got this like, he's got the lanky, but he also like overly confident and just wants to fit in, man. You know, he just wants.
I don't know about that. He's not doing too many things to help himself fit in. If that's his goal.
He's hanging out with Wario. Set himself up for a keen rivalry with Luigi, one of the greatest characters that Mario's ever invented. I mean,
Mario didn't invent him; they're brothers.
That Mario invented. That Nintendo invented. Oh my goodness. It's my brain on autopilot. Yeah. I like Waluigi a lot. Purple, great color. He's got a very cool mustache and just a signature wah. Like it's just his voice acting is very well done. I don't know. I just find him fun to play in every game that he is in. Maybe it's because he's so different. Yeah, like he is by far the tallest character in like everything that he is in. Maybe on par with like Bowser in height in some things,
Yeah,
but then he's
I don't
also
know.
stick skinny, and maybe that's really why I relate is
You
because
just
I'm
relate.
also stick
You're also
skinny,
skinny,
lanky, and I
also
also
potentially a weirdo,
yeah I also go wah.
way too confident
Yeah, oh yeah,
for some reason. You're like the same person,
pretty much.
trying to take over the world through dance.
I wouldn't say I've ever tried to take over the world through dance, but the fact that he's the final boss of DDR is just so great. Mario Mix DDR. Yeah, there you go. Micah, who is the best Mario character then? If you don't think it's Waluigi.
Yoshi,
Oh yeah, Yoshi's pretty good.
easy. He's always there to help out Mario, even though Mario's kind of a dirtbag and throws him off cliffs all the time. Yoshi still shows up to help him out, to help him rescue Peach and whatnot.
Yeah,
And
and I do
besides
like
that,
that.
it's Luigi.
I do like that his name is Yoshi and he is a Yoshi. That's like naming a person human. Like,
Well, it's also
hey,
like
human, what's
Mario's
up?
first and last name both being Mario.
uh,
Sometimes Nintendo's not the most creative with their naming.
we have in chat here, Mike. Have I told you you're my hero? Got some more love for Yoshi.
Definitely not often enough.
Oh yeah, I enjoy Yoshi as a character as well. I like a lot of the Mario characters. Who's your least favorite Mario character? While we're on this subject,
It might be Wario.
no,
That just comes to mind quick.
really? Oh
But
man,
he's actually not all bad.
I like Wario
He
a lot.
likes garlic. I like garlic. He randomly has a motorcycle in Smash Bros, which is pretty sweet. It's the only reason to play as him.
I like Wario a lot. Maybe I relate more to Wario and Waluigi than to Mario and Luigi.
The villains. Interesting.
They're not villains.
They're kind of villains.
They're anti-heroes.
They're more villains.
When have they ever been a villain besides DDR for Waluigi?
Literally
And also,
every game they're in.
what was his plan exactly in DDR? Do you
Well,
remember?
he just wanted not necessarily to take over the world per se, but he wanted to collect all the fancy musical note things to grant him a wish, which is probably world domination or something.
It's probably world peace. Well, yeah, you probably were the villain in that game.
It.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. My least favorite. I always my go-to is Daisy. To beat up on Daisy. I just find her voice so obnoxious.
She's the same.
She's the same
as Peach. They're like the same person.
No.
If anything, Daisy's better than Peach.
Daisy has more personality than Peach, 1,000%. But I don't know. I don't know what it is about Daisy. Just don't like Daisy. But it's not. I don't. But that's the thing. It's like what you said with Wario. It's like, well, I don't actually dislike Daisy that much. like, and that's.
Haven't you in the past like 5 minutes said you hate Daisy so much?
No, I said I don't like Daisy. I don't like her.
I feel like at some point in time I've heard you say the words "I hate Daisy" so much.
Oh, maybe I did. Well, I don't mean it. It's like it's
sometimes you just gotta vent.
Yeah, it's a light hatred. Not.
It's almost like how I feel about Ocarina of Time, but the exact opposite. Because I really do hate that game.
Wow, you're so. Why you gotta slip that in here like that? Why you gotta slip all this
It's been too
blasphemy?
long since I've bashed on Ocarina of Time.
Daisy doesn't get kidnapped all the time. Daisy is Andross's
Another
mortal
point for
enemy.
Daisy.
I'm trying to think of another Mario character that I don't like. I wouldn't say I hate Daisy. I'd say that I am annoyed
I mean,
by Daisy.
something about Birdo just is weird to me. I don't understand the Birdo character.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but I find Birdo kind of comical, like a weirdo. I don't know
What was
why.
that? Was it Birdo was in Origami King, right? And
Yeah,
then like the
yeah.
cafes. That was
Any
pretty funny.
anytime Birdo shows up, it's like weird saxophone music. And she tries to give Mario a big old smooch with her giant mouth
Maybe that's part of the problem. It's just
snout
like a
thing.
big gaping
Yeah,
hole in
it's
the
kind of
face.
gross. That's kind of gross. It feels like that shouldn't be that way. It's like Yoshi, but with a hole for its
Instead, yeah, the
face.
nose is just a giant hole.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Presto. Next question. The world now runs on video game logic. What's the first thing that you do?
I mean, a lot of people said took all the good things in the chat after this was asked, involving saving and
Yeah.
using cheats for infinite lives. Although someone said they'd get infinite lives and then do all the daredevil things they're too scared to do. I still don't think I would do that because I feel like dying is still probably very unpleasant.
Yeah, true.
Although if it's video game logic, some of those games dying doesn't really seem that unpleasant. You fall down a hole and you're just like, "Oh, I'm back now," after yelling for a couple seconds.
Yeah. You just got to yell "Mamma Mia" and then you
Yeah.
reappear up at the top. I really don't know what I would do if the world ran on video game logic. Go level up.
Oh yeah, you'd go fight slimes for 300 years?
Yeah, I'd go grind my level ups, and I'd be just like super powerful. Like that is the concept of that manga, by the way. Like the premise is the main character died in like as an office worker. They worked too hard, and it eventually killed them, and so they were reincarnated in another world as a witch, and they wanted a life of ease, so they went and leveled up on
Worked very
easy
hard for 300 years?
on easy enemies. On they only killed slimes to max out their level. It's very it seems like it's very satirical. I didn't read any
Yeah.
of them. I just saw an overview. But yeah, that's exactly maybe that's exactly what I would do. Like beating up a bunch of like level 1 Pidgeys and then max out all my stats and just be set. Boom. And then I'd probably do a bunch of challenge runs. Wiggle
Yeah.
bomb. I'd wiggle bomb everywhere. just like
You
hold
try
a
to make it
ball
through the
and
cosmic
rotate.
ocean.
Oh gosh. Yep. Infinite money. That's true. Yeah, lots of money. Yeah. I'd go shake some trees. Piece of furniture falls out. Like, oh, sweet, a new couch.
A
$1,000.
pocket-sized couch until you want to
Yeah,
actually use it.
dude. Is it
Infinite
inventory?
storage.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, now we're getting into it. Yeah, like that pocket space. Oh, perfect. So there you go.
I don't know
That's
what I
what
would store with infinite pocket space, but it
probably
would be a lot of it.
more McChickens because they won't go bad either. Because
It's true,
that's
yeah.
video game logic. You just store those McChickens, and you just always have stuff to eat.
And if it's Pokemon logic, I can glitch and duplicate those McChickens so they never end.
There you go.
While the world
Oh,
slowly gets
man.
more and more corrupt.
This is great.
But worth it for the McChickens.
Thanks so much for the questions, Presto. Oh, we got more by Presto, but they're ordered later. All right, next question. Go ahead, Micah.
Asked by Monkey Thunder, we know that Kirby is the strongest Smash character, but which character is the weakest?
I feel like I'm missing something.
There's only one correct answer here.
There is? Oh no. Oh no. Um uh which character is the weakest?
Starting to seem like you don't know the correct answer to this
I
question.
don't know the correct. I'm probably just gonna go Pichu.
Yep, that's it. That's
Oh
the answer.
really? Oh
Pichu.
really?
Pichu is garbage.
Yeah, Pichu is pretty rough because
It's
they
like,
hurt
oh man, I
themselves.
hit my opponent with this move. It did 5%. And then you look at your own health and you did like 3 to yourself. Why?
Yeah, it was either that. It was between that and like Olimar. Now, when I say that, don't be offended, Micah. First off, I mean Olimar specifically because the Pikmin are what do all the
They
work.
do all the work. That is a good point, and I will agree with you there.
So that's my pick there, and then maybe Isabel, but Isabel's kind of horrifying. She teams up with the Doom guy. You're toast.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen.
Thanks for the question, Monkey Thunder.
If
I think
only
I think
Waluigi was actually in this game, so I could have said him.
no way. Waluigi's definitely more powerful than Pichu.
I don't know. I mean, Pichu does have that small size going for them, but for every move you dodge, because you're small, you just hurt yourself by attacking.
All right. Next question. Another question from Mute Dog. Have you guys ever verbally trash talked to an enemy / boss in a single player Nintendo game? No. So this is excluding multiplayer games or online games. If so, what kinds of things would you guys say to them?
I don't really think I do this much, actually. And
I know
if I do, I probably just call them a piece of garbage.
I do this a lot because I'm very animated while I game. I can't think of like a very specific example, but I definitely yell at my game. Not yell, but get angry at
Talk
characters that do things.
animatedly to
Yeah,
the game.
yeah. Like, what is this? Why? No, stop. Yeah,
Oh, wait,
that's
maybe stop. Yeah. No, I usually use that for people that I'm playing against, though. If
yeah, that's
someone's
for
about
like
to murder
online.
me, I'll ask them to stop. And it almost never works.
I do feel like, especially for like Ganondorf fights, um I get pretty worked up, and I'll get angry at Ganondorf if he's walloping up on me. What I tend to do more is trash talk my character. When something doesn't work quite right, it's the
Oh,
character's
Link,
fault.
what are you doing?
Yes, yep, that's
Stop
100% me.
climbing.
Like stop, Link. Why? Like no, listen, like no, just walk forward. Like things like that. That's me. Um, question in chat. Can we ask questions in chat, Fuzzy? Yes. And I did see Fuzzy asked a question earlier that was, why is Breath of the Wild your favorite game? We just did a retrospective on Breath of the Wild recently where I kind of went in. So I'll try and give a short answer here. I love the exploration and the feeling of accomplishment and discovery that you get in Breath of the Wild. And then mechanically, it's just so polished and clean. It's beautiful. The music is great. It's just a 10 out of 10 game for me. It hits everything that I enjoy in gaming, with some exceptions, but we'll be talking about that for our pal topic. Yeah. Micah, how about you? Why is that? Why is Breath of the Wild your favorite Zelda?
Yeah.
I
Those
want to say it's your
same
favorite
reasons
game.
that you said.
Mm. Ditto. Not just a Pokemon, but my answer. Thanks so much for the question, Mute Dog and Fuzzy. Let's move on to the next one by Presto.
Is this a me question?
This is a you to me or to us.
Okay, me to you. Only you have to answer. What is your favorite single player game to play with someone? For example, I've been playing Ocarina of Time on NSO while my friend has been working with me on the puzzles.
Favorite single player game to play with somebody. I have a very vivid memory of doing this with my cousin playing Paper Mario on the N64. We like worked together to solve puzzles and figure out how we would do fights and things. Pokemon, I did that a lot growing up when my siblings would kind of watch over my shoulder, play that. And then Zeldas. Yeah, Zeldas are always a fun one to play with a friend on the side there.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like I've mostly done that with Zelda games with siblings.
Yeah.
So those are the games that we all liked.
Yeah, I don't really do this too much now, except I guess with my kids. My kids will enjoy watching me play something, but most of the time then they want to play too.
Yeah.
So then we end up playing multiplayer games. So that's
Well, I guess back in the day, I would sometimes watch my brother play Madden 2005, especially.
See, I'm the oldest in my family, so I didn't have the older brother to go watch play games.
You just got to play the games yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I would hog them all for me.
You made the
No
younger
Zelda for
siblings
you,
watch.
little brother. You have to watch me play. Yeah, that's the case. I think what I ended up doing was just watching. This is at like the dawn of time. Not really, but like the very introduction of the internet and YouTube. I would watch people stream games. That's do let's plays. There's no streaming wasn't a thing at that point, but do let's plays of games. So I did experience some games that way. Micah in chat here. Micah not wanting to think of an answer, so he just says the same thing as Andrew.
That doesn't sound like something I would do.
Oh man. And then Presto has another question here. Pitch your idea. I don't know why I said that so weird. Pitch your idea for a Kirby spinoff in a genre that hasn't been done yet. Kirby's kind of done everything though, right? Except for
Horror.
Kirby Breath of the Wild. Would that be a spinoff if it became like an open world action adventure game?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if that count as spin-off or not.
Horror is what you pick.
Yeah, and I'm trying to decide if the horrible things are the things Kirby is fighting, or if you are something and Kirby is trying to kill you.
Yeah. That would
You
be
see the glowing red eyes in the darkness, and then Kirby steps out, and it's just him,
that would
the
be
pink puffball, and then he tries to kill you essentially.
that would be kind of
by eating
horrifying.
you.
Yeah, that would be kind of horrifying.
You'd just be, you'd be like a sentient fruit, and Kirby just wouldn't realize.
So there's a lot of people saying that this new Kirby Dream Eater, what is it?
Kirby
Dream
rollout.
Buffet.
I can't remember what it's called, but they roll a lot.
Dream Buffet or something like that is Fall Guys but with Kirby, which I disagree with because it I think is only 4-player and it's not a elimination type game. But I do think Fall Guys but with Kirby would be cool.
Just a million Kirby's.
Yeah. All racing to get to we mix in some air ride elements into this. That would be a cool game. I'd play that game for sure. I'd play anything air ride related.
Oh, for sure.
It's like one of the best
As long as they have that like city mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's my answer. Is it my turn to
Ooh,
ask the question? No, it's your
I
turn.
don't
You're
remember.
just pulling it up. I can see
Yeah,
this the
the
screen light up.
brightness
Yeah.
changes. Yeah, it's so bright. I need like a dark mode for
Why don't you
this
just have it up?
because I
Because
have
it's
other things up at the same time.
because it's too bright.
Okay, I
Because
got
I'm
lost.
playing Rocket League while we're
Yeah,
podcasting.
I'm playing Metroid Dread, like we talked about.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We did talk about that in the
Because
pre-show.
question by Brian Eck. He asked us and anyone in the community, what are your thoughts about game reviewers giving a final score to a game they haven't completed? I pose this question because with recent reviewers coming out for Xenoblade 3, you have to wonder and think, do their review scores mean anything if they haven't finished the game? Because if Xenoblade 3 falls in line with the other games in the series, it will surely take around 70 to 100 hours to complete. In my opinion, if you're getting paid to review a game, you should finish it. If not, your score and review means nothing to me. Some strong words.
Mm,
And
mm.
at best, be transparent with the progress you've made in the game.
Okay, that caveat at the end there is the kicker for me. I feel like you have to be expressly clear with where you are at in the game, and so
Yeah.
you have to say that you finished it. And who's to say that these people didn't finish it? Because reviewers will crunch to be the first ones to get their reviews out. I don't like that culture. I don't. I think that it is not good because it makes this like weird competitive like these people have to grind through a video game and that's not really the way it's meant to be played.
Yeah, it kind of ruins the experience of the
I
game a little bit.
I think so. I think it will taint how the person experiences the game because they are having to rush through it. And then with a game like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, well, there's a lot of extra stuff to do. And what if that one side quest really makes a huge difference to the game? Um, so what percentage do they have to complete? Do they have to 100% it, or do they just have to get to the end of like the mainline story? And what mode do they have to play on? We get into dicey territory here on like what should and shouldn't be. I just feel like what you got to do in the review space is find people that you personally agree with, their gaming opinions that seem to like the kinds of games that you like, and see what they say about it. And if they enjoy it, then maybe give it a go. But to expect everybody to play every single game is a little hard. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this one, Micah?
Yeah, I don't think someone has to complete a game to give a rating of it, but I mean, I agree that they should say if they have or haven't, because who knows, maybe the last little bit of that game changes things a whole bunch. But at least with non-story elements, I guess you can get a pretty good handle on them and what they're about and if you enjoy them or not relatively early on. So I think you can still give a pretty fair review of a game without having completed it, but you should let people know you haven't.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, I think, how much stock is held in game review scores because they're so arbitrary. And it really
Yeah.
depends, and especially from these huge sites like you've got a place like IGN. Those reviews are all done by different people with very different biases and different ways that they're going to score things. So you have to like pay attention to that. Then individuals that are doing reviews, there's no possible way they can get to every game, and then all of those people, if they get early access, are going to try and rush to get it before the game comes out, get the reviews out, so that consumers can make the choice on what they think about it. For a game like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that's going to be 70 plus hours. That's a lot. That is a lot to try and do in a limited time frame because the game companies don't want it out too early because then things start leaking everywhere and then people get spoiled on stuff. So, if I'm being honest, I don't put a lot of personally, I don't put a lot of stock into reviews. I don't. I get games that interest me and I do reviews on games. We've done several on our YouTube channel, and we talk about them on the podcast. But I don't like go out and do like the hardcore. I'm gonna play through this entire thing and then review it and then do it. I kind of play. I like more of the first look approach to doing a review, and then for how I determine whether to buy, unless I hear that it is extremely bad, I just go off what looks interesting to me and maybe what some of my friends recommend and are playing.
Yeah. Friends are the best way to figure out if you'd like a game or not.
Yeah, having a community to tap into. I think there's definitely a nice bit to that.
Kind of like you, I don't really put much stock in the number scoring.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly just pay attention to what they say about why they liked it or didn't like it and whatnot. That has more of an impact on what number rating they gave it. Because sometimes I can be like, oh, you didn't like it because of this. Well, I actually kind of like those things in games. So
I think we're odd ones out though, because I've heard a lot of people say that they really like review scores for quick determining whether something's good or not to get. But I don't know. Maybe we're not. How do you feel about review scores, listener? Let us know in comments or hit us up on Discord, Twitter.
I gotta replace my ice pack real quick.
All right. While you do that, I will ask and answer this next question. Thanks so much for the question, by the way, Brian. Next question, the last one from Presto, who asks, "What's your least favorite video game song? And if you say Delfino Plaza, I will smite you." This one, I was trying to give this some thought before the episode, and I could not think of a song that I dislike. Maybe I'd say Lavender Town from Pokemon, because it's just unpleasant to listen to. Like, it's supposed to give, but that's like kind of the vibe of the town. It's supposed to be kind of eerie and creepy. But I don't. I'm not a huge fan of that song. Like, I could pick. There are plenty of games that have this problem of music that is way too repetitive and way too short, and it gets annoying just because it's overplayed, or it just sounds way too generic. But if I'm thinking of like famous songs that I dislike, I'd probably say Lavender Town.
Lavender Town.
Yeah. What would you say for this question, Micah? Least favorite video game song?
I don't know if I can point, to like any song in a video game that I'm like, I dislike this enough to remember what it's called. If I dislike it, I just don't think about it. Man, you don't like Lavender Town? I just have to pull it up to remind myself how it sounded.
You bobbing your head? It's not a jamming song.
It is a jamming song.
It's like a creepy song. There goes our Patreon recognition in the back.
I was jamming a little too hard to that song.
Yeah, for those not watching the video version of the podcast, we have at our highest tier on our Patreon, you can get your name on our wall, and Micah knocked the name off the wall because we only have one person subbed to that at the moment. It's kind of a crazy high tier sub, so we appreciate you, Loma7. Thank you so much for the Patreon sub. I have the name on my wall too. It's just blurry back there, but it's there. Sorry, Presto. I'll give it some more thought. Maybe we'll come back with an answer to that next week, and I'll have a song that will be like, oh yeah, this is truly the worst video game song of all time. A couple more questions here. Next one's from Drake Musgrave, who asks, what is your favorite deck builder game on Nintendo Switch? Not including, if you count it, games like Uno or classic card games. But a deck builder.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Slay the Spire.
Same.
Oh wow! Now who's the one copying the other person's answer because they don't want to come up with their own? Huh? Interesting.
I'm gonna say Slay the Spire, and then I also have enjoyed my time with Monster Train, but I have not finished it.
Oh yeah, I've played that a little bit, but also not on Switch.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I am a big fan of deck building games, but not like TCG style deck building games, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I'd rather have um, games like Dominion for those that have played tabletop. Dominion is you buy a box of cards and then you play with sets of cards. And they're in like a middle shop for part of the game, and you purchase them and add that to your deck, and then it resets every game, which I guess is more Slay the Spire style. You're not like collecting the card and then you get to build your deck that way. I like to play like a Dominion style game over like a Magic the Gathering style game, personally.
Yeah, Magic the Gathering, like half the game is trying to get the cards you want.
Yeah,
Seems like.
yeah. I like this isn't to diss on Magic the Gathering. I actually like the gameplay of Magic the Gathering itself, but I just the trading card aspect of those games. It's not
Tend
my
to get
favorite.
a little pricey too because of things like that.
True, true. Thanks so much for the question. That question came to us from Spotify. So if you are listening on Spotify, there's like a little question button at the bottom of the page where you can see uh, you can answer questions that we ask, and I ask every week. Do you got any questions or topics you want to see us cover? So yeah, give us a question over there. We'll see it and answer it on the show. Another one from Spotify from Daisy Rose asks, review Fall Guys free for all for Switch.
Well, it's free, so 10 out of 10.
That's all it takes. Nice. This is the only place I have played. So to preface my review, this is the only place that I have played Fall Guys, and I'm having a blast with it. I think it's really fun. It's a fantastic Switch title. I have heard that it doesn't run as good on Switch as it does on other platforms, and you can kind of see that in the animations of the other characters, but it doesn't affect your character.
Yeah, I was like, does it really need to? I mean, this isn't. You don't need your 200 frames per second to play Fall Guys.
I need to see the ray casting and the dynamic shadow lighting for sure on this game. Gotta have those fancy graphics so I can see my bean dressed as
Yeah, so I can see this. Yeah, a bean, what they call it.
bean.
I'm trying to think of a cylinder. It's essentially what it is.
Yeah. That's why I built a PC, says Oso. I have
just
a PC.
For Fall Guys.
You build a PC to play Fall Guys. I have a PC and could try it there, but it's just a perfect little game for Switch. I don't know. Talking more, I guess, about what it is. I think that it's the appeal of it is that it's so quick, and you can get through matches really quickly. And if you get eliminated in the match, you just pop out and start over. And it all runs pretty fast. And the fact that it's free to play and that it is cross-platform and on basically everything, you can play with all your friends.
Yeah.
And that's
just
just
got
cool.
a good amount of mini games to play. Although all of the ones that involve grabbing things are the worst. Be that other people or little penguins, terrible.
Maybe something.
I'm sure some people love them, but not my cup of tea.
Maybe something I can kind of knock on Fall Guys for is that they don't do a great job with the explanation of mini games. So when you first see them, it's almost always what the heck am I doing? What's going on? And then you fall off. And then the next time you see it, it's a little less. What the heck am I doing? Oh no! And then by the third time, you're like, I know how to play this. So
yeah.
there is that, but I don't know if there's like an effective way to do that real time. It's not like Mario Party where they could like throw a practice match up at the beginning. Can't
Yeah. Well,
really
they
do
could
that.
just give you. You could just practice and play through the individual mini games.
Is that
Just a
possible?
separate mode. I
That
mean,
might be possible.
not for all of them, because some of them heavily rely on having other people there.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
I think some of them you could go through and would work out.
The other thing I like about Fall Guys is the custom lobbies that you can do where you can set up, and they're really easy to set up. You do need a group of at least 10, but and you and I know how much of a struggle it is to get 10
Yeah.
people to log on. But that's a lot of fun. So it can be a great game to play in communities like Nintendo Pals and other places.
Yeah. In my opinion, it really shines when you're playing duos or squads with people you know.
Yeah. Yeah, tail tag. That's it's
Yeah, the
called that
tail tag
specifically in
is
chat.
specifically the one I was thinking about when I said grabbing things.
Anything else you want to say about Fall Guys?
I mean, it's just a fun game for short bursts. You can fit it in.
I don't know what the game looked like before going free to play, but the monetization model in Fall Guys I like. Um, it's using the Fortnite model of we have a battle pass, and then you can also buy our currency and get costumes with the currency. But besides, so it's all cosmetic, and there's no pay to win mechanics. So you can enjoy this game and get a fair amount of stuff from it completely for free. And I like that model a lot.
Yeah, and they've been doing quite a few crossovers for costumes.
Mm-hmm.
They have like Godzilla and Mothra.
Yep. We saw
Assassin's
Spelunky. We saw
Creed.
Spelunky Man last time
Oh
we were
yeah, we
playing.
did. I forgot about that.
And I'm like, oh, when's that coming to the shop? I got to get that one. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, you want to take this last question? Because this one's kind of directed to me.
Depending on how much my mouse wants to be helpful. Okay. Question for Nintendo friends. We are planning a family trip to Disney World, Florida in the fall. What Nintendo attractions are there in Florida that are must see?
Currently, not much. There's not really. I mean, you're coming to Disney World. That's for Disney. There's not going to be much Nintendo stuff. Nintendo World, which is set to open at Universal Studios Orlando, is still pending and maybe coming out in 2023. It might actually be like 2025 at this point. It got delayed. So there's not a lot there, but if you are hitting up Disney World, there is a section in Epcot called the World Loop, the World Tour, and you take it's a big lap around a huge lake, and you go through sections from around the world, like different places around the world, France, Italy, China, and one of those places is Japan. And in the Japan section, there is a store that sells a lot of like Japanese candies and treats and clothing, and also a bunch of video game stuff, merch wise. So they've got all the plushies, the Nintendo plushies and stuff. And there's also this like really cool art exhibit that shows off cultural phenomena, and you go check that out, see if you can find the Tom Nook in there. So that's really it. There's not really a Nintendo place to hit up. The Nintendo place to hit up on the East Coast in the United States is the Nintendo store, but that's up in New York. I wish that they had more.
A little bit of a drive.
Yeah. I wish that they had more. I guess they've now got in California, they've got Super Nintendo World where you can go and there's a whole bunch of Nintendo stuff. And eventually they'll add that same kind of stuff to Florida. But I just don't understand why there's not more Nintendo official type stuff. I feel like it would do well, but maybe it wouldn't. But I think it would. Nintendo's really popular. They have really popular IP. Why not Pokemon? I know in Japan there's like Pokemon centers.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So there you have it. Thanks so much for the question. I wish I had more guidance on what you could do in in Florida with that sort of stuff, but there's just not much there currently, at least down where I've been at Disney World. Well, Micah, with that, let's move to the last segment of our show and let's talk the PAL topic. Holy mackerel, that was so loud. I'm sorry, everybody. It's because I had to turn on Micah and my volume. Yeah, you know. Hopefully everybody's awake now, because you know what we're doing? We, for tonight's PAL topic, are talking about our top 5 most wanted features in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda, the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Did I say that right?
That's the official title.
The sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I'm going to assume that Micah has not put these in any specific order yet for himself. Or have you?
I haven't even made 5.
Oh.
I'm winging it. I'm listening to my
winging
heart.
I'm copying your answer is like what I'm hearing.
What?
Well, Micah, I will go with I can start this time. I will go with my number 5. I want the Minish in the sequel to Breath of the Wild. There was like leaked concept conversation where they were talking about having a little Minish village somewhere in the wide space of Breath of the Wild. And I think that would just be really fun. Like a village that is completely made up of tiny little creatures.
In challenge mode, you play the entire game Minish.
Like you can shrink down. Yeah, that would be really interesting if that was an option. There was like a dungeon that you could do that in or something. But just to have them as a people in the game would be really cool, I think.
Yeah, well, my number 5, because we're apparently also ordering them as well.
That's what I said. I assumed you didn't have it in any order.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't even have 5. Like, that's an accomplishment.
Hey, not everyone can listen to their heart so well as I. But I think underwater exploration. So instead of just swimming on top of the water, you can dive down and swim around and stuff.
And it was a thing. I think it was originally planned. It had to be. Like, they have cities built next to water and like all these watery areas. I feel like it got cut. Wasn't there concept art leaked of a divine beast that was like a crab?
I don't remember that.
Pretty sure. I'm not making that up.
I know there's an underwater chest that people tried for a while to open.
And I do think they did get it.
Yeah, people got it eventually. Probably actually didn't even take that long.
Underwater exploration. It was in previous games. Twilight Princess had the Zora armor, and you swim around and can explore. Ocarina of Time even had pretty hefty underwater exploration. You use the iron boots.
Yeah, although I say I would like underwater exploration, but I feel like in every game that has it, I'm like, this is the worst part of the game.
Yeah.
But they could do it good. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be cool. Number 4. I feel like we should have like a bumper for these. Number 4. Voice acting. I want full-fledged voice acting to be everywhere in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. It was in for the cutscenes that involved the champions, and then when you first meet the descendants of the champions or whoever was going to help you storm the divine beast, they'll say something, and then that's it. I'm like, enough is enough. All right, Nintendo, it's time. It's time to put some voice acting in your games.
I mean, I feel like voice acting isn't that necessary because people talk too slow, and I usually just skip through those anyways because I read what they say faster than they say it,
Well,
and I'm an impatient person.
well, you're a punk.
And then it
No,
just makes me feel guilty that they put all this work and effort in, and I'm just skipping everything they do.
I like it a lot. Talking, it was brought up earlier. Skyrim. Skyrim was a game that had like a ton of voice acting. I mean, they only had like 5 voice actors, but they had it, and it's for everything. And I didn't feel like it was in the way. Like I could skip through dialogue if I wanted to.
You're a monster. They put hours, hundreds, if not thousands of hours of work into those lines that you
No, they
just
didn't. It was only like one
skipping.
person putting 1,000 hours in. There's only 5 voice actors in all of Skyrim. I'm pretty sure.
You should feel extra bad because those 5 people had to work extra hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I think it would be a cool feature. But you know where it's needed even more than Breath of the Wild is in Pokemon. Like, just please, for the love of all, just put voice acting into this game. I just don't understand. It would make it so much more accessible to like children who are like a major target audience for Pokemon that are learning to read.
Well, it's not going to help them learn to read if they just
Yeah,
listen.
no, let's just slam them with walls of text. Like, no,
It's the way to do it.
I no, disappointed in that. No, I want voice acting. That's my number 4. I'm sticking to it. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is more aerial exploration possibilities that don't involve glitches.
Ah, yeah, I've been exploring the aerial in in Breath of the Wild for a while, thanks to wind bombing and BLSS. Nice.
Yeah, I want to be able to fly at some point.
You want the loft wing.
Exactly.
Solo something's been says that every time this is brought up. He's like, I just want the loft wings back. Like, that would be sick. That would be super cool. But you know what I think might be cooler? My number 3, and that is bigger dungeons. But keep the shrines too. Put that in parentheses, because I'm not one of those people that's like, the shrines weren't like, you weren't good enough. I want my real Zelda dungeon.
After going
No,
back
those
and
were
playing previous dungeons, I'm like, you know what? The shrines are even better.
yes, 100%.
Because I don't have to like
100%.
backtrack a billion times through all these dungeons if I like miss something. I mean, there's a different aspect to it that's kind of nice with dungeons, but it's
Breath of the
just
Wild.
compact. You just have the puzzles.
Yes, Breath of the Wild is designed for compact play sessions. Because for other Zelda games, you essentially are like, all right, dungeon starting. I'm going to be here for several hours, like to get through this dungeon. And
So
that's
I don't
just,
want to stop because then I'll forget what I've done and
yes,
where I've been.
yep. That's just a lot to commit to. So I don't want that to just. I want it to be in the game, because I do have fun with that. There's a fun aspect to all of the classic Zelda games and the dungeons. I love them, but I like Breath of the Wild's formula too. So why not both? You know, let's do some big dungeons in there, but also 100 shrines. I'm cool with that. Cool with that. I think it's fun.
Nice.
What's your number 3? What does your heart say?
My number 3 is I think they should add dungeons in that are a little bigger than they than they were in Breath of the Wild. I think that would be pretty swell. I almost said that, but then I was like, I don't know if that really counts as a feature. So now that you said it, I
Now
realize
I'm
I can also
confident
say it.
that I can copy your answer. Yeah. uh,
I mean, and
well,
I guess I mean, what they kind of alluded to a little bit in the trailers you've seen when they're walking through like these caves. I want like big underground places to explore. I want like big cave systems.
yeah. So you want underwater, in the sky,
All
and
the terrains.
underground. You're like, we're talking all terrain Zelda.
And then my number one, they give you a 4-wheel drive truck with wings.
We're talking all terrain travel. It's the motorcycle again, but
Uh,
it's like a quad.
yeah.
Oh, that would be excellent. That would be excellent. Um, my number two, which I'm going to say this is going. I'm going first here, but this is definitely one of Micah's top things. So I'm copying Micah in this instance. The hook shot.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's my number two. I want the hook shot to be a thing, and I don't want just any hook shot. I want the double hook shot where you can Spider-Man swing around things. There's so much that could be done if you could use the hook shot.
Yeah, and yeah, just to clarify a little bit extra to Fuzzy here, I have mentioned that in the past, so
Yeah.
just
Yes. Micah has mentioned that in the past for sure, and we both agree the hook shot needs to be added back to Zelda.
man, it's such a good one. It made me forget my number two. Oh, I mean, I hmm, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of wish there was just a little more to like bigger cities, I guess, more towns and things.
Oh, really? Okay. You want a bigger city
Yeah, I
because it
mean,
is a lot of like small settlements, I
yeah, I was like, I
guess.
mean, although not necessarily bigger, but it's just more
When you
and
look
more
at it
to them.
as a total, there's a lot of characters in all of Hyrule. There are a ton of NPCs, but they're in these like small groupings that never really feels like you're in a city anywhere.
Yeah, which I mean, it does kind of fit the story of
Hmm.
everything's been destroyed, kind of, and people are rebuilding.
Yeah, but there's like this bit of me that wants that Castle Town feel that you had in Ocarina of Time, which there's like nobody in Castle Town. Let's be real, but
Yeah,
it gives this vibe that like it's a lively and energetic city. Twilight Princess probably does that even more so. It's 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 really compact and small, but it feels like there's a lot of people there, and that it's a very active and alive cityscape.
yeah. I just want some good old city exploration
Yeah,
and finding secrets in towns and whatnot.
yeah. Hyrule Castle in Breath of the Wild is super cool for
Yeah,
that. But I would have liked to have a Hyrule Castle like experience somewhere else that wasn't infested with Ganon
without
and
things trying to
Guardians.
kill you all the
Yeah,
time.
because that's like the hardest part of the game. It would be cool to just have like a different castle-y areas to explore. And I guess there are like little outposts and things, but they don't really have as extensive of interior design and dungeon-like qualities or people. I totally agree with you on that one. That's actually my number one. No, I'm just kidding. My number one most wanted thing. This is the dream. It's not going to happen. I've accepted it.
Multiplayer.
Multiplayer. That's my number
Yeah, I
one.
forgot I was gonna mention that as one of my numbers, but now I only have one left, and you know what I have to say for it.
I thought you were putting Hookshot at number one.
Oh, Hookshot is number one.
So multiplayer is your number two.
Honorable mention to multiplayer, which I forgot to put on my list.
Multiplayer in a Zelda game, I just want it so bad. And it's been done with Triforce Heroes, which not the best. Four Swords is really fun, and Four Swords Adventure really fun games. But I would love to see a multiplayer like full scale 3D Zelda game. That would be so fun. And if you are if anybody is following the scene, there is a mod out there for Breath of the Wild that will soon be released publicly. that you can play multiplayer Zelda, but you gotta like mod your Switch or Wii U or whatever. Like you have to find some way to play the mod. And it's like, man, Nintendo, can you just do it, please? So I don't have to figure all that out. I'm definitely going to figure all that out because I want to play multiplayer Breath of the Wild that badly. Yeah, this is a feature that I would do horrible things to get. uh, like I'd
Almost
probably
murder.
drive over the speed limit somewhere, not tie my shoe while walking down the street. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Real rebel.
Some real horrible things you'd do for it.
I just think it would be so fun. It would be so fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's our list, right?
I guess,
Your
like
number
I've
one-
mentioned, yeah, mine is the hook shot, but I want like the grapple hook shot or something
Mhm.
where you can hold it down or something and it pulls you to the object, or you just tap it and it hooks into something and you can swing on it.
Yeah. Yeah, like Skyward Sword had really good swinging mechanics. But yeah.
And I just want that swinging in an open world
Well,
setting where I can just swing through the trees or something.
because Breath of the Wild is so physics based, like
Yeah,
there's a lot of
exactly.
physics to it, and that would just be so fun to mess around with. Link ragdolling as you mess up a grapple
You hit a
thing.
tree and you're just like hit 7 more on the way down.
Yeah, yeah. Those are it. Those are it for me.
Also, adding in another one a little bit.
Okay.
Give us a zipline arrow, so you can fire your arrow and it can create like a zipline. I mean, you have a
That
glider, so it's not really like that
necessary.
necessary, but it just would be cool.
That would be cool. That would be super
It's
cool.
kind of like the hook shot already, I guess. But
I'm also like you said, I'm for like let's go crazy here and get some more vehicles. You've got the motorcycle. Let's give Link a an actual boat that isn't just a raft. You could canoe.
oh yeah, with cannons.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's so much more that they could do, and it looks like they're doing everything you want, exploring the sky. I'm willing to bet that they'll probably have more water exploration this time around, because I don't know what exactly. No one knows what exactly is going on with this game, other than hey, there's sky islands and new runes and
A
things.
weird arm, a
Yeah,
flamethrower.
yeah.
They have a fort built on a
That
stone talus.
that flamethrower looked like it was a shield. By the way, it's like it was a shield he was holding up that had like a dragon thing on the front. Yeah, there's all these cool things. I'm willing to bet that there's going to be some more water exploration, because if they are taking the base game and just expanding on that map, I'm hoping that it's just that map with new features and things changed on it. It's like Fortnite. It's a new chapter, new season. It's the same map, but they changed a bunch of stuff and then they added a whole bunch of stuff. That's what it is. And that comes to my true number one, which is Battle Royale Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. I mean, that would be pretty cool. I feel like I started coming up with better ideas once I stopped the list almost. I mean, and back to that zipline thing, it wouldn't only be for ziplines. You could use it to trip things or something, make little trip wires.
You've been playing Horizon.
I have been playing Laura. I never used trip wires in Horizon, though, to be honest.
Well, that's a wrap.
And the octo balloons, more functionality with that.
They just need more of them. Like you can buy them somewhere and just get a bazillion of them. I love messing with the physics in Breath of the Wild. It's so fun. Magnesis on like train cars, trains. Let's bring back Spirit Tracks stuff. Like you could get a full-fledged train and build train tracks. There's the concept of this was definitely planned but did not go through, building houses and building a city. And that's why in Terrytown, the houses are built in like block chunk segments. And you can see them. That's the only place they are besides at the Bolson Construction Co. where they have those. And I believe that the original intent was for those to be like you could build the town, not which you get to do in the side quest, but you'd actually get to place where things are. And like that would be so cool. Not necessary at all. Like these things here, I feel like would be huge on my list would be huge pieces that would enhance the game for me. That seems like just like an extra mode that would be cool to have if they have time, but not strictly necessary. And speaking of not strictly necessary, that's going to do it for this podcast, episode 101 of Nintendo Pals Podcast. We want to give a huge thank you and shout out to everybody who popped in. Also, thanks to everybody who came here in the live chat. Let us know what you think if you like having the live chat here in the video portion of the podcast. You can follow us and reach out to us on the internet. We are on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, TikTok, Twitch, and on every podcast listening app known to man. And if we're not there, let us know and we'll get there. So, to wrap things up, we got to give a shout out to our Patreon pal producers. And we do that every week through the special Patreon Poke Wrap. We had a new patron join in the last 2 weeks, and that is DatFast, aka John, one of the amazing hosts of the Retro Logic podcast. If you haven't checked out their show, give it a listen. We've been on there before. They're awesome guys. They talk retro gaming and are just super cool. And they are all of the hosts have separately joined up on our Patreon. So thank you guys. You guys are awesome. They're like a sister show to us. They started about the same time, and we just all are good friends. But DatFast, you have not been added to the song yet, but will be soon. Here is the Patreon Poke Wrap, and we'll end it here.
We gotta rap some Patreon.
You just do the singing. I'll take care of the hard part.
Let's get it on.
We want to be the best that ever was, and shout out our pals over on Patreon.
OD Riz or Retro Logic Dan. You dug a game or slim to a spider shan. Solo something, Brian Egg. Little Miss Seven and Cosmic.
Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all. Patreon.
K-Neck and Tina, third strongest one. Tim the Nintendo Dad and Seth Sturge with Patreon pals at every tier. Join up now, get your name in here.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah.
Gotta catch 'em all. Patreon. Let's get 150 or more, yeah, please. To be a Patreon donor is your destiny.
Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to y'all next week.